All right, brothers. So in this video, we are going to go over the best way to do outreach to get a high ticket sales role. So yesterday, I did the video on one of the main questions that I get all the time, which is how do I identify what is a good offer? What's a good business to sell for? So that was the video yesterday. The other question I get the most is what do I say? I don't know what a good message is. I have no idea what to say. So this is something that holds a lot of people back. So I'm going to go into all of that in this video and tell you everything that you need to know. Now we're going to rip this in a Google Doc. I just wrote it all out because there's a lot of stuff you need to know. So I wanted to include all of it. Whereas if I just rip this off the dome, I might leave something out and then I'm not going to re-record the video. So all the info you need is going to be in this video. Let's get into it. So, if you want to get a high ticket remote sales job, your message makes all the difference. Okay. Like it's very important because this is the first thing an employer or a business owner, offer owner is going to see what you say to them. So, I'm going to tell you how to send DMs, get responses, get a legit job, and also hit you with some priceless life game at the end of this video that you don't want to miss. So, in the high ticket space, the online business space, you probably already know that DMs are a big thing. If you don't, that's what we're talking about now. Everybody tells you to send DMs. You're trying to get a job, you're trying to make money, you're trying to get an opportunity. You want to send DMs and reach out to people. But everybody also hates getting DMs. All these business owners get so many terrible DMs that they're sick of getting them. So the vicious cycle. You got to send DMs to make money. The people who got the money don't want to get the DMs. So that's what we're going to work through here. Now you can get jobs through DMs, business opportunities, make sales, make connections, etc. If you can get good at doing DM outreach, you have access to a lot of opportunity with the internet and that a lot that I don't even think you realize. People are always sending DMs with the point to try to make money. But what's interesting is when business owners or people talk about sending or receiving DMs, it's always in what? A negative light. Like, this is terrible. Sometimes they shut their DM box down because they're so sick of getting them. All the DMs I get are absolutely terrible. I'm so sick of getting DMs. 20 tarred MFers a day are sending me DMs and so forth. And another thing that I hear is people never get DMs from the people they want, and all their DMs are awful, like they were written by a baby. So we're going to make sure that that's not you by the end of this video. However, even though this sounds all super negative, this is a good thing for you because if you can just send a good message, you can just do this one simple thing, you can stand out extremely and be in like the top 0.01% of people who are sending these messages and trying to get these jobs. I'm dead serious. It's that bad. I see them all the time. Like I know other business owners. I've been in this high ticket sales space a while. I see tons of DMs and they're all terrible. I'm like, who wrote this? Like, is this a real person? Are they kidding? Are they on drugs? Like, they're bad. So, and another thing, I give people in my program like these exact message scripts to send to people that are really not that wild that I just write out for them. And they're like, wow, this message is amazing. I'm telling you that the bar is so low. Like, I'm not exaggerating when I say that. The bar is extremely low. Now, number one, and the first thing when it comes time to send messages that you want to make sure you focus on is that your messages should be intelligent, grammatically correct messages. This is number one. I mean, this should be obvious, but like we already talked about, 95, 99% of the DMs I see are terrible. They've got slang in them or they're cursing. There's no punctuation. The grammar is terrible. These words are misspelled. It looks like a 2-year-old wrote them. So all of your grammar should be correct, and your message should also have clear, to the point, complete sentences. So no fluff, no rambling, get to the point, complete sentences, sound like an intelligent person. And when I was sitting here writing this, I'm like, I can't believe I'm making a video for adults, or at least young adults, and I have to go over this stuff at the beginning of the video. But this is the world of idiots that we live in now. They're just everywhere. And the internet has just like exponentially like magnified that problem. So remember, clear, to the point, grammatically correct sentences. If you can just do that, they're going to be like, oh, this is an intelligent person. I'm going to read this message. And yeah, you might be saying, yeah, well, I already do that, but do you do it all the time? Go look at your messages. I guarantee you probably slip up. You don't notice some things when you send a message, words misspelled, like leaving punctuation out. People notice that. Like it doesn't seem like a big deal, but if you're trying to get a job or make money or do business, that shit is not going to fly. So before you hit send, proofread it twice. Okay? Now, number two, and obviously, which most is what pretty much everyone's watching this video for, is the content of the message. What do I say? This is what people ask me all the time. Like I've given you all this information, like you want to reach out to these types of businesses that sell these products, sell these services. If you're doing this on your own, you got to do a little legwork, right? If you want to get a normal job, you send off a resume. You want to get one of these high ticket sales jobs, you got to start getting in touch with business owners who need salespeople. But people always say, and I never really thought of this before until I started getting this question, is people just don't know what to say. Like they're unsure, and I get that, right? If you've never done it before, you feel uncertain about what to say, and that can hold you back. So the content of the message is what we're going to talk about right now. More importantly than what you say is what not to say or what not to do. Okay. So the first thing I see people who send terrible messages, the main thing they do wrong is they drone on and on about themselves. It's all me, me, me in the message. Do not talk about yourself. Okay. And like I said, it's probably the main problem I see in all of the bad messages that people send do this. And this is what they sound like. Oh, hey, man, I'm this like super great guy. All my family and friends, they tell me that I should be in sales because I'm so amazing. I'm so likable. I've got these big dreams, and I think you and your company would be a great fit for me and my dreams to help launch me into success, and just me, 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 me. They do not care about you. I'm going to say that again. They do not care about you at all. If you remember nothing else from this video, just remember this line. They don't care about you. They care about what you can do for them. Sit on that line and never forget it. And that line will make you more money in business and in sales than you could ever imagine. People don't care about you. They care about what you can do for them. Think about it. Do you really care about other people? You just care about yourself, right? This is your life, your career. You're trying to make the money. They feel the same way. So when you send the message, you need to like consider that when you're thinking about what to say. People do not care about you. They care about what you can do for them. Now, that applies to not just business and sales, but in life. If you really think deeply on that line, that's how the world works. Everybody has to look out for themselves first. There is no like person walking around who is completely selfless and doesn't care about their life at all, and they're only out here for other people. That's not a real thing. People are always focused on themselves first and then on other people, even if they're a really good person. So just remember, especially when it comes to money, people don't care about you and your personal shit. They care about what you can do for them. So take that life lesson and don't forget it. Now, when someone is getting a DM, when they're receiving a message from you, remember that that person has pains and problems that they need solved, especially if they're a business owner. Like 100%, they have daily problems, daily pains that they need solved. And guess what? They are looking for a solution. They're running a business. They guaranteed have problems and things that they need done in their business. And guess what? They would love to pay somebody to do that for them so that they don't have to worry about it. And one of those things is sales. Sales calls are the first thing a business owner wants taken off their plate because they take up a lot of time. Now, another question I get is like, oh, these good offers, they probably already have salespeople. Even if they have salespeople turn over all the time, even in really good roles, because they do sales for a while, they go on to start their own businesses, they find a different offer, they move, whatever. So a business owner is never not going to have like his eyes in the back of his head open, looking for a good, reliable salesperson. So it's never a bad time to reach out, and it will be that way until the end of time. Businesses and business owners will always need salespeople. There ain't no robot that's coming or AI that's going to take over sales, because people will always want to buy from a human, not from a robot. Okay, you're always going to need to have that connection, which is another reason why I tell you guys to get into this, because you can make as much money as you want until you die, forever. Now, like I said, these business owners have pains and problems in their business, every single one of them, and they're constantly looking for a solution. And if the right person comes along, sends them a DM, and speaks to those pains and problems, they're going to listen. Their ears are going to open. And as long as you don't do the first thing I said, like annoy them or sound stupid or talk about yourself, they're going to want to hear what you have to say. And the reason for that is because they want their problems solved. They care about themselves, remember? And they've got too much other stuff on their plate that they either don't want to do it themselves and they'd rather be doing something else in the business, or they just don't have the time. So guess what they're going to do? They're going to pay somebody. Now, you want to talk about in your message what you can do for them and what you are going to do to make their life better and easier. This is the meat of your message. What are you going to do for them? What are you going to do to make their life better and easier? If you had a problem and someone came along and spoke to that problem, was like, hey, I can do this for you and this will make your life better and easier, are you going to listen to them? Of course. It's the same thing here. Now, giving you an exact script is not possible, because what you say is going to differ based on who you are messaging. Every business is going to be different, and you're going to have to tailor your message around who the person is, their personal brand, what their personal brand is built on, what kind of business are they running, and what kind of product are they selling. Are they selling a product? Are they selling a service? All of these things are going to go into your message. So you want it to be like very specific. And to do that, all you need to do is look at their Instagram or look at their social media. What are they selling? Is it a product? Is it a service? Next, go watch some of their content. So look at what they're selling. Are they selling like a coaching program? Are they selling a marketing service? Go watch some of their reels. Look at some of their videos, some of their TikToks, whatever. What are they posting on Twitter? You don't need to spend like an hour on every person and do a deep dive on every single one before you send a message. But if you just take a few minutes and actually look at who you're messaging and what they're about before you fire off a message, dude, no one is doing that. People are just spamming messages. They're not actually taking 30 seconds to 2 minutes to look at someone's profile and be like, okay, I see this, da 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 da. They're not putting in that extra 2 minutes of effort. Did you hear what I said? 2 minutes of extra effort sets you apart from 99% of people. And when you do that, you're going to see something in there like, okay, I should probably talk about this. I should say, like, let's say when you do this, you can find something unique you like in their content. And you could say, hey, I saw you do this or that. I have this in common with you too. So find something maybe that you have in common with them that you've seen them post in their content. That's a short, nice, personal thing that you could add to your messages. If they're selling Facebook ad services and you have any experience with Facebook ads at all, like you can reach here, it's fine. Like mention those things, right? Because that gives a personal touch to the message, and you're talking about their business. You're not talking about yourself. And also, if you say, oh, we have this in common, like I saw you do this or that, you're still talking about them. You're like, hey, I see you like that. I did too. And they're like, oh, okay, right? So you just need to think through these things. Like once you start sending messages and get used to like doing this, it will come very naturally. It's just practice. So then you want to say in just a couple short sentences what you're going to do for them. So you're looking for a sales job. So you could say, I know you get a ton of leads coming into your business. I'd love to take your sales calls for you, take those off your hands, free up your time, and help you grow your business. Notice how in this sentence, you're not talking about yourself. You're only talking about, you're speaking to a problem that they have. Like they've got a ton of leads, so they've got to take all these calls themselves. You're speaking to that problem, and then you're saying, I'd love to take those calls for you, free up your time, and help you grow your business. Business owners want to grow their business and make more money, and they want their time back. So you just spoke to those two things. Now, this might sound like, oh, everyone's saying that. Probably no one is saying this. I see the messages. People are not saying these things. They're saying the message that I went over earlier, like, I'm so amazing. My family and friends tell me I'm going to be like so successful. Like, that's what they sound like, or it's just like chicken scratch. No one is saying this stuff. If you say this stuff, they're at least going to read it, and at least their interest is going to be piqued, and then they're going to go take a look at your profile and probably reply. So no one is saying these good messages. If you can just, I'm trying to show you how easy it is to stand out. If you can just do this, you will be successful, and do it consistently. Now, at the end, you could add a short sentence about yourself, like very quickly, like, I'm super driven. I've really enjoyed your content. Hope to hear from you soon. It's a good way to wrap up the message. Include something small about yourself just to kind of personalize it. But that's as far as you want to go. Okay. Other than something you have in common with them and this really short sentence at the end, that's like as far as you want to go with it when talking about yourself. Now, a random one that I get, and I actually get this question a lot, and I also see this message a lot, is people are these days in their DMs trying to come up with these really like unique, jokey, like funny messages. Like I can't even think of one off the top of my head, but they'll like tell a joke to open the message, and they think that that's gonna like perk the business owner's ears, or they're gonna like laugh. They're not laughing. It doesn't matter how funny the joke is. They're gonna open this and be like, I just wasted my time. This person is not serious. They're gonna look at you like a child. Okay. This is not the place to tell jokes, right? Like that's not going to help you. And any business owner I know, like, look at this cringe joke I just got, or this corny ass joke. Like they don't work. It might, maybe it's worked for you like one time, but the majority of time it's not going to work. So this next part is very important. You want to think about all of this through the eyes of the person you're messaging. So how are they going to view this joke? Just because you think it's funny doesn't mean they think it's funny. How are they going to view your message? So before you send your message, read it and think about, how are they going to see this message? How is this coming across to them? And if you can do that, you will be super successful at outreach. So every time you send a message, think about who is reading it and how it's going to come across to them before you send every message. And again, it takes like 10 seconds. And most people don't do that because they're lazy and they have no self-awareness. So next time someone tells you, oh, I've been doing DM outreach, I've gotten no luck, or you see on the internet people saying, no one, DMs don't work, it's because they're doing all the stuff I'm telling you not to do in this video. That's what 99% of people are doing. That is why. If you do the stuff I'm telling you to do, it will work. DMs work. If you speak to a pain and a problem someone is having, it will work. Like, and you offer a solution, they will want to talk to you. It will work. So next thing is, when you send a message, and this also happens a lot, don't send these really long paragraphs. So even if you're saying like the right things, but your like paragraph is like the length of the phone, like they're not going to read all that. Like think about when you see a comment that long, do you read it? No, you're just like, ugh, I'm not reading this. They're not reading it either. And especially not them, because they're business owners. They don't have time to read all that, and they're not going to. So length of the message, short to the point. Make sure everything you say is to the point, like 4, 5, 6 sentences max. And don't take this as gospel. Just look at it and be like, is this too long of a paragraph? Could I cut something out? Like, make sure you don't want to send them like 2 sentences. You know, you want to get your info in, but just make sure you're not writing a book. Okay? Write out what you need to say and move along. Long paragraphs blabbing about how great you are is an example of a terrible message. Now, like I just said, super short messages, you don't want to do that either, where it's like people will just say, yo, you hiring, bro? Like, put me on. And that's it. Like, what? Are you, what? I can't believe people send these messages. Like, it's another absolute, to a business. It's another absolutely horrible message. But I see these all the time. Like this type of message, I see every day. I get them, business owners get them. And these are the dudes who are saying DMs don't work and complaining on the internet. So don't be one of them. Most people have no self awareness. They're adults and they cannot even send a proper message. This is your competition. Okay. Or they're just lazy and they do not care as much as you do. And that is a huge advantage. If you care and you take what I said seriously in this video, all of this will work for you. If you stay consistent daily, all of this will work for you. Business owners want to hire people that care about working hard and have self-awareness. These qualities today are extremely difficult to find in salespeople, in setters, in ops, in agencies, in people, media buyers. Like all of these things are hard to find. Most people suck at what they do, period. And that has been my experience, like working in the online business space. So if you can do those things and work hard and you just have self-awareness, like you have no competition. Your only issue is yourself. And then the fact that you let your mind stop you, you say, oh, DMs don't work. I did it for a week. I didn't get any replies. Okay, well, maybe you need to do it a little longer than a week. Sometimes it will work on day 2. Sometimes it takes 3 months. Either way, that's not a long period of time. It can take a week. It could take 3 weeks. All that matters is that you stay consistent and it will work. If you want, well, before I go on to that, these are your only 2 issues. It's either your mind, which is yourself, because you're telling yourself these things, oh, DMs don't work, or you're not doing it consistently. So if you just listen to what I say, I'm telling you that you can do this. I'm telling you that you can get one of these roles if you do outreach and if you do it consistently. So don't let these 2 things right here stop you. If you want to get a high ticket sales job and make 10,000 plus a month, there are going to be only 2 ways to do that. You either need to do outreach and send messages consistently, which is what this video is about, or you could join a program like mine where you can get access to opportunities and someone like me can help you through the outreach process, through the interview process, bring you opportunities, things like that. Those are the 2 ways. That's it. So if you're not going to join a program, you have to send messages every day till you get a role. Now, we kind of just talked about the time frame, but that's going to be different for everybody. And this is why I say consistency is the number 1 trait you need to have. I've had people join my program, get a job in 2 days. It happens all the time. And then I've had outliers, keyword outliers, that come in, they do everything I say and work hard, and it takes 3 months plus to find a role. So it just depends. But that's an outlier. But the point is, like, you just never know. You just need to stay consistent and not get discouraged if it's been like 2 weeks. The key thing to remember is that there are plenty of these roles out here. If you do this every day and don't stop, you'll eventually get a good role where you can make 10K a month. It's just inevitable. These opportunities are everywhere. You just have to get after it. And this is a good example that I thought of before I wrote this. If you told your grandpa like 50 years ago that he could just punch some buttons every day for 3 months straight and then be able to make $10,000 a month, he would have dropped everything he was doing and been like, that's mind-boggling. Let's go. That's the best opportunity I've ever heard of. But the internet is so rotted your brain that you don't realize, like, all I have to do is punch some buttons for 3 months and I can make 10K a month. Let's go, right? So you got to put it in perspective. You're lazy and entitled by this internet stuff. This is so easy, dude. You just have to punch buttons every day on a screen and you're already glued to that screen 24/7. I'm giving you the keys to do this on your own in this video. You either want it or you don't.